All right. Less than 15 minutes to go. This is going to be this is going to be an event. Okay, we're going, we're live. All right. I'll admit this direct kind of came out of nowhere. We were all super hyped for next Wednesday when they finally give us a full proper reveal for the Switch 2. And then they decide out of nowhere to pull this. It's just like, okay, I don't get why it wasn't last month. What could they possibly be hiding? I don't understand what Nintendo's up to. I don't understand why they waited so long for this. Like, they could have done it. They could have done it last month and had the Switch 2 reveal, the little tease trailer thing, at the end as the one more thing. The opportunity was right there, and they just didn't do anything with it. And I don't get it. That being said, I did make a bingo card, but I'm not expecting most of this in the direct. I put cloud gaming because it would not surprise me if we see something kind of like what Kingdom Hearts did, but I'm not really betting on it. I put Silksong on here because that's just been a running thing where we want Silksong. Oh my god, it's freaking disappeared from everything. Oh my god, where is it? Can you tell I'm not really a Hollow Knight player? But people don't shut up about it because it was announced so long ago and then just nothing. To the point where it kind of became a meme. And apparently one of the story pages recently updated for it a little bit, so, maybe there's a chance. So I don't know. It was either this or putting Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 on here. Because that is in a similar boat. Pikmin 4 DLC, that's just me kind of coping. I don't think it's really gonna happen, but if it does, I will go absolutely nuts. Donkey Kong, I feel like it's way too soon to put Donkey Kong anything on Switch except for maybe DK64 and NSO. But Nintendo really seems to like Donkey Kong lately because they will not shut up about Returns HD. Like, even after this direct was announced, they immediately post a freaking reaction gif. Not a gif, like a reaction image of DK just being dumbfounded. Kid Icarus. I got Star Fox on here. Those I feel like would be more of a Switch 2 thing, if anything, but I would, it would be nice to see him. Yoshi, it's been almost the last Yoshi game. Maybe they'll have a little something on here, but I just needed the space to be filled. Metroid Prime 4 is 100% getting it. It's 100% getting a release date. 100%. Rhythm Heaven is just a major want from me. Kirby Planet Robobot has been something that's been rumored for a while, and I don't think we got a Kirby thing last year. And if they're gonna do another big 3D Kirby, which they obviously are, I don't think they're gonna do it right now. I don't think it's gonna be on Switch 1. And I feel like a remake or port of Planet Robobot would actually be a nice little thing for the Switch 1 while we wait a little bit longer. NSO in general, I'm not expecting GameCube. Being perfectly clear, I'm not expecting GameCube, but there might be a section where they're like, here's a new N64 game we're putting in. F-Zero is kind of in the same boat as Kid Icarus and Star Fox, except F-Zero got a new game a couple years ago. And Nintendo's cycle dictates that here's a smaller release, a couple years later, here's the big one. I think it might be more likely for Switch 2, but it's here. Among Us. That was put in there, that was my last square I needed to put in the bingo card. 100% admitting to that. And Um, I asked Wanye's Discord. I asked them like, "Hey, I need one more thing for the square. What do we put in?" Wanye said, uh, Katamari, because there's the Apple Arcade game that was recently announced. And Creaky Siren said, the recently announced Among Us Yakuza collab. I left it to a coin flip, and Among Us made it in, and I think that's the more likely one anyway. Layton, uh, that was teased with a name drop a couple years back in a direct. Then it's been pretty quiet until like late last year with a trailer I didn't even know existed until recently. Oops. But I would not be surprised if we get an actual release date during this direct. I want to play Layton so bad. New IP somehow. Nintendo likes throwing in curveballs. We might see something completely different. I don't know. Pac-Man I put here because it's his 40th anniversary this year. So, I will count if they do a little spot about Monkey Ball Banana Rumble doing the whole Pac-Man collab thing. I think that will count towards the bingo, because I don't think it'll affect too much on here, realistically. I'm not expecting any new Pac-Man things announced in this direct, but it would be nice to at least see Pac-Man on here. Wario, specifically a Wario Land release, whether it's NSO or a new Wario Land, because I think it's too soon for a new WarioWare unless they're going to put it on Switch 2. Because they've been doing this thing lately with WarioWare where we have one early on that's more gimmicky, and then we have one later on that's a bit more standard, you know? So they're gonna get all gimmicky again next time, and I think that'd be on Switch 2. Mario Sluggers. I think tennis is on Switch. We got a golf game. They brought back Strikers somehow. The only major Mario sports game that's missing here, I'd say, is baseball. So, you know, I want to see it come back. I want to see Sluggers come back, because it's been a bit. Because we had Superstars Baseball on GameCube, Super Sluggers on Wii, which is what I had, and then there was baseball on Superstar Sports on the 3DS that I'm pretty sure most people have forgotten about, and then it's been nothing. Where'd it go? Wii U port. There are still a few Wii U games that are exclusive right now. That might change. I think the Wii U will still have some exclusives no matter what, because I feel like Game & Wario and other games like that are kind of just tied to the gamepad way too much. Nintendo line, you might be able to work around it, but maybe not too well, I'd imagine. Stuff like the Luigi's Mansion game or the Mario Chase, I feel like translating those to a non-gamepad format probably won't work. So most Wii U games that are still exclusives are probably going to stay exclusives. But then you have stuff like Wind Waker HD or Star Fox Zero that could potentially get brought over still. Maybe. But it's hard to tell. Pokemon Legends ZA. We had Pokemon Day last month. We got actual gameplay for the thing, but no concrete release date. Maybe we'll see it in this direct. Even if we don't get a release date, just seeing a bit more of the game would be nice. Dragon Quest is on here because we already got 3 HD, and during that they announced 1 and 2 HD. So we might get more info on that. Tomodachi Life I put on here because people are begging for it still, but I don't see it happening. If it does, I don't see it happening solely because didn't that game use the microphone a decent chunk? And the other 2 games in the series, one of which is Japan exclusive, very touchscreen focused. And yeah, in portable mode you have a touchscreen, not on the tabletop mode, not tabletop, docked. That one, the TV mode. So I don't know how they would bring it over. I feel like it'd be more likely on Switch 2 because there have been rumors about that having a full-on like voice chat support thing. So maybe that'd work a little bit better. I don't know. A Shadow Drop because Nintendo has this habit of just announcing a game, and then here it is later today. Like, they did that with the Pikmin 1 and 2 remasters. They did that with the remaster of Metroid Prime 1. So they could just suddenly pull something and be like, hey, here's the game you didn't know existed. You can buy it today. And, of course, Fire Emblem, because people are rumoring that we're going to be getting a remake of the fourth one. I forget the name of it, because all I know is that it's... originally, it was Japanese exclusive. I am tripping over my words, because I cannot comprehend what they could possibly in this direct. But I put Fire Emblem on here in case we do get... What was it called? Like, Genealogy of the Gold War or something like that. I forget. Something like that. If we do see that, that'd be kind of nice. I feel like Fire Emblem's probably gonna have more of a presence on Switch 2's announcement, because I was looking back at the Switch 1 presentation, and Fire Emblem was on there. I think, was that Three Houses? Was that Three Houses on there? I don't know. I don't think it's been that long since Engage. Maybe it has. I've not been paying too much attention to Fire Emblem, I'll be honest. It's not exactly my thing. But I feel like Fire Emblem would probably be more likely to show up on the Switch 2 Direct. Kind of mirroring the Switch 1. But, I don't know. And of course, in classic bingo fashion, we have to have... Oh, nope. Oh, dear. We have to have a free space. I moved the direct window by accident. I hope that's not too much of a problem. So the direct's going to start in a couple minutes. I'm going to hope the volume's good. I will tweak things on the fly in case things are a bit messy. And we're just going to have to hope the best in this one. I'm not expecting anything super major, but to be fair, last time that happened, last time I had low expectations, we got Mario and Luigi Brothership to start the direct. They were starting off swinging last time. I'm not expecting that extreme of an opening, but, you know, it could happen. It's Nintendo. They're unpredictable sometimes. They did suddenly announce a direct, like, out of nowhere, yesterday, for Switch 1. When, again, I feel like it would have fit better in February, but that's just me. But, hey, what are you gonna do? Also, I'm gonna make sure the quality settings on here, I'm using the Nintendo. I'm gonna keep it at 720 for now. If I start having, like, noticeable lag issues, I will bump it down to 480. We'll have to see on that. I think I did bump that to 480 last time because it was just not working, but I loaded it through YouTube last time. This time I'm loading it from the Nintendo site, which is using an embed. So there's just a lot less stuff to load on the Nintendo Direct Nintendo page, you know? So it might run a little bit better. At the same time, there's also no live chat. They disabled it for this Direct. I don't think they normally do that. So, I don't know. Less than a minute to go. Hey, Vix! Oh, yeah! This is happening! I don't think we're gonna see Sonic Adventure. It'd be cool if we did, but I don't think we're getting it. But yeah, this came out of nowhere, didn't it? What a surprise and a half this was. I'm not expecting the most amazing thing here. And again, Mario Luigi Brothership showed up at the beginning of last Direct. So something could happen that will just blow me out of the water, but I don't know. My major predictions are Prime 4 release date, maybe mentioning Among Us. And here we go. Inevitability that Silksong won't be in this Direct. The inevitability. Okay. We're starting out with Dragon Quest, I think. Not super familiar with it, but I think we're marking this off immediately. Hang on. Gonna go ahead and it's been a little bit since I've done a bingo, so I got to copy, paste this, and here we go, like that. All right, off to a good start. We got our first token down. I am loading at 720/60 on here, but if we do get some performance issues, I will tone it down a bit. I'm gonna be a bit more cautious with this one. Last joke, I think I had to tone it down to 480 because I ran it through YouTube's, and there's a lot more to load there than versus the Nintendo Mbit on their website. So I'm running it from the actual Nintendo Direct page this time. Yeah, it'll be interesting because like I have no idea what to really expect outside of maybe a release date for Metroid Prime 4. That's what I think.
Hello everyone. I'm Shinya Takahashi.
They could have anything really. Again, they surprised us before. I'm gonna bring it up again. Mario and Luigi Brothers showed to start last direct.
Upcoming Nintendo Switch games.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
We'll also have a Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd.
That's the one we were excited for, and then you suddenly drop this one like, hey guys, did you forget about the Switch 1? Like, guys, like,
from Square Enix.
I had a bingo card all ready to go for next direct, and then you go and ruin it.
What kind of adventure?
Because I was expecting like maybe they'd show a bit more of Prime 4 during the Switch 2 direct to be like, here's a comparison of how the game will look on Switch 1 versus Switch 2, and we're hoping for a dual release. But like, come on. now they're probably not gonna do that.
Escape from dire straits.
Like, I don't know. Don't ask me.
2 minutes until oxygen 0.
Help me.
Space.
The latest entry in the The Somnium Files series.
In the what series?
A special agent with a sophisticated.
In the what series?
Embedded in his left eye. Your mission is to track Iris, an internet idol who has been trapped in a mysterious escape game. Conduct interviews to investigate Iris's whereabouts.
I can turn on. Oh wait, no, I can't. I thought I could, but I can't. It's a live stream. I don't think you can. If you want me to turn it up a little bit, I can. I can turn it on my end. Turn it up on my end a little bit.
Will bring you one step
How's that? Is that better?
Uncover what
I don't want this to replace the actual direct for anybody. I want to be more about me reacting to it. So, keeping that in mind, I don't want the direct to overpower me, basically.
July 25th.
Anyway.
Unleash the supernatural.
So... a bit? Okay.
A classic Atlas action RPG returns with remastered HD graphics and enhanced gameplay.
And I know nothing about this series, so I don't know.
Raido Kuzunoha makes his living as an apprentice detective. But unbeknownst to others, he also
I'm not the
fights
biggest
alongside
RPG guy,
demons
says
as
the
a
guy
devil
currently playing
summoner.
through Mario and Luigi
To
Brothers
protect the
and,
capital,
and still
Raido
playing
must
Pokemon.
investigate a series
So
of
I don't know.
supernatural cases. Fight in real-time battles alongside demons you summon. Work with
Real-time
the demons
battles,
to
huh?
strike an enemy's weak point.
Automatically,
Follow
you're
up
doing it
with
better
a
than
powerful
Pokemon
attack.
did.
Cooperation is the key to
Granted, we don't
victory.
know. We don't.
You can even turn
Here's the thing. I say
opposing
that
demons into allies.
because EA's not actually out yet, so we can't
Demons
properly
can also
judge for
be
ourselves.
useful
I'm thinking
outside
about the
battle.
real-time terror raids from
And their powers
Gen
are
9
helpful in
and how
finding
garbage
solutions
they
to
are.
investigations.
I hate those.
Guide Rido through a series of strange incidents.
Assume you're the bird who gave us a call?
SCN covers a
Yeah.
conspiracy that will
This
shake the
happens a
capital
lot
to
with
its
Directs,
core.
I feel, where I'm just like, what?
Rido
What am I looking at?
Remastered, The
Huh?
Mystery of the Soulless Army launches on Nintendo
Wait, what? Jack
Switch,
Frost?
June
I don't know.
19.
I don't
Pre-orders
know.
begin later today on Nintendo eShop.
I don't think these from this series. What's going on?
Consume darkness. With your memories gone, you have been summoned to a strange, unfamiliar world, where you're greeted by a yellow orb.
I'm not
known
counting
as
this as Pac-Man, by the way.
Who is this
I am not
strange
counting this
stranger?
as
More in a
Pac-Man.
mysterious, maze-like world.
I'll
Your
I'll
battle for
count
survival
maybe the
begins.
Monkey Ball Pac-Man collab thing that was recently
Puck
announced,
guides you
because
on your
that might
journey,
show up on here.
you'll
I am
dive
not
deeper
counting
into the
this.
expansive world.
I don't care what people
Examining your
say.
surroundings,
I don't
you can
care what
face it
people say.
and
I'm not
combine with
counting this
Puck
as
to
Pac-Man.
explore areas you couldn't reach before.
You stop it! You cannot convince me. You cannot
Creatures
convince me, Direct, to
inhabiting
count
this
this as
world will prove
Pac-Man.
hostile.
You cannot.
When facing imposing enemies, you and Puck can temporarily fuse into the Gaia form to unleash powerful attacks.
Maybe I should count it.
By
No, no,
consuming
no.
your prey,
I
you'll collect resources. that can
when
then
when
be
I was
used
thinking
to
they'd do
enhance
something
your
for Pac-Man's
abilities.
40th, I was not expecting this, which I believe is the
Work to
basis
uncover
for
Puck's true goal
shit,
and devour enemies to survive.
what
this
was that
cruel world.
called?
Experience a dark twist on the iconic Pac-Man when
I don't think it's called Next.
Shadow
Is it
Labyrinth
called Next
launches on
Level? I
Nintendo
forget.
Switch, July 18th.
It's the one that had the Mega Man episode that everyone liked, and
The rhythmic march
Yeah.
begins. Remasters of Patapon and Patapon 2 are
I've
drumming
heard this
onto
name,
Nintendo
though.
Switch as one
but
bundle.
I don't know what it is.
Play your drum to the beat.
It looks
and
pretty
give
cool, though.
different
I like
commands
the
to
way this looks.
Patapon Army.
The way they took another obscure franchise of theirs and gave it a Pac-Man skin, and they're trying to draw
them
people
forward.
to it. Yeah, so I'm not counting that as Pac-Man. I'm sorry.
And if you string together combos with good timing, the Patapons enter fever mode and get a big boost in power.
I'll
The
admit, this
horse
looks
riding
pretty neat.
Kibapon to the shield savvy Tatepon. Build up your battalion to take on hordes of fierce foes.
This is nice looking, actually.
Plus,
I like it.
new features have been added.
I don't know
so
if
you
I'm gonna
can
pick it
dance
up
to the
or
beat of
anything.
your own drum.
Because, you know, Switch 2 is not too far out, but, you know, this is
Meet the
interesting.
Patapons and March 4th. When
Mostly
Patapon
because of the
1
art style and the
+ 2
fact that-
Replay launches on Nintendo Switch.
It looks silly,
July
yeah.
11th.
I do enjoy me some silly video games.
Welcome to Zephyr Town, a cozy place nestled in a windswept valley. This is where your new life begins.
Okay. Harvest Moon.
First cropping up on the Nintendo DS system, this immersive farming
Okay.
and life sim has no shortage of activities to get up to.
I'll admit I've played none of this series.
Tend
At
to your
all,
farm
but,
while
like-
growing crops and
Okay.
caring for animals.
Farming sim. I should have put a farming sim
Then
square.
sell your produce.
I
and
was
other
not
wares
expecting
at
we
the
get
town's
something like
weekly
this
bazaar.
again.
As
I
Bazaar
should have thought
sales
about
grow,
that. Like,
you'll help the
I already have
once
one
famous
kind of.
market regain
I have a
its former
couple
splendor.
actually, kind of memey spots on the
You can
bingo
also
board.
get to know the locals.
And I was like, maybe it's time to retire the
And
farming sim
maybe
thing,
nurture a
at least
relationship
until
if
Switch
you
2,
find that
and then they
special
go and do
someone.
this. Of course, I let my guard down, and then there you
Taking
go again.
advantage of Zephyr Town's windy conditions can make travel and other tasks a breeze.
Anyway.
The winds of change are coming, and your new life on the farm begins when
A New
Story of
Life on the
Seasons
Farm,
Grand
despite the fact it is
Bazaar
very,
launches
very
on the
obviously
Nintendo
a
Switch
remake,
system
meaning it is
August 27th.
technically a life we have lived before, to an extent.
Please look forward to the latest entry in the Story of Seasons series. Next, please take a look at this.
Alright, what you got? Okay. Okay, Metroid Prime 4 is in here. I knew it would be in here somewhere. Let's go ahead and paste and drag this up here. There we go. I think we're going to be getting our release date. I know I've had the opportunity to play the first one because of the
The
remaster,
unknown planet Vuros.
but I haven't. And I haven't
Here,
played any other
Samus fought the
Metroid
verdant
Primes.
jungle with a colossal tree
So-
in its center.
I have, like, next to no context going into this.
In order to survive and escape this planet that she
I
was
think the only
unexpectedly
Metroid I've actually
transported
played
to.
all the way through is Super.
Samus must scan stone figures and other relics to carve
So-
a path forward. She's not alone, though. Abhorrent, alien
I will say
creatures
this.
living in the jungle.
Those
are
people
waiting
who
to
thought
strike.
that we were going to be getting Prime 2 and 3 remasters or ports on Switch, I don't see it happening. Nintendo has this cycle they do, where they do a smaller release, and then a couple years later, here's the big thing. Our small thing was the remaster of the first one. And now we have this. I don't think they're going to give us 2 and 3.
Psychic abilities. These
power
powers
of my
are
mind!
operate mechanisms and open doors.
I
They
will
also allow
admit.
her to control the trajectory of her beams.
Ooh, okay. This is actually a nice change of pace for Metroid.
But why were these powers bestowed upon Samus?
I will admit this does look pretty cool, but I have like no context for a majority of this series, so maybe I should be more excited for this, but I don't know. I'm just happy to see that this thing is finally coming out.
After being summoned to
'Cause-
Vuros. The
Because
threads
this
intertwining
was
beyond space
teased like
and
back in
time
2018,
are
right?
beginning to weave
And then it went through
a new
development
tale.
hell. Now look where we are. Release date, damn it! I thought we were gonna be getting a concrete release. No! I was so sure.
It looks like even more challenges await Samus. We hope you're looking forward to exploring with Samus's
Alright.
new psychic abilities.
I was hoping we'd really get a release date this time, but
Okay, let's move on to
you know
some
what? I
more
can't be that
headlines.
upset. The psychic abilities look kind of cool.
Ready to stir up some mischief? Once upon a time, there was a drab coffee shop that transformed into a magical potion cafe. As
I
the
should have
newest
put Disney on here at
potionista
some
of the
point.
Queen's Cafe,
I was
you'll
debating
craft
it.
concoctions for
I'll
Disney
admit, I was
villains
actually kind of debating
and get
that
to
we'd see a
know them
Disney
in
game on
new
here.
light. Mixing
'Cause I feel
ingredients to
like
brew all sorts of
Thinking about it
strange
more
elixirs.
recently,
Then
the
serve
last
them
few
to your
directs have had
villainous
Disney stuff
visitors,
in them.
including Ursula and Gaston.
It's
With
mostly
help from
been that
Yzma,
one
you can
that's
upgrade your
very clearly a
ingredients to
mobile
produce
game.
some wildly
But then we had stuff
wicked
like, I think there was a
creations.
kart racer,
The
there
potions
was
you
the
make
Mickey
can
Mouse
influence each
platformer
customer's
not too long
storylines,
ago.
leading to different outcomes.
So I
every
really should
time
have expected
you
we'd
play.
see something Disney in
Who
here.
knows
But
what
oh well.
mischief might
Oh well.
happen. Disney Villains Cursed Cafe launches on Nintendo Switch later today.
Is this a shadow drop? I feel like it's getting, well,
Summon a spellbinding
mm,
adventure.
I don't know. I think that feels like something we're supposed to be excited about, but I have no knowledge of Metroid. I think it's just,
Welcome
hey
to
look, it's a
Witchbrook
new
College,
suit.
where students strive
Samus
to
is
master
getting a
the
new look
magical
again.
arts. During class, use magic
So, like,
circles to
I don't know.
perform rituals.
I feel like it would have more impact if
and
I've
learn
actually
advanced
played the
techniques
Prime
to
series.
go from witch in training to skilled spellcaster. There's also plenty to do outside of class. Hang out with friends at their homes. Take on various jobs to help pay for tuition. Or use the spells you've learned to craft and sell original items. Plus, up to 4 players can make magic together in online co-op.
Do we count?
Explore this whimsical
I
world on
really,
the road to
I want to.
graduation and beyond.
I wish I put the farming sim on the board.
You ready
Because
for
I
the
would have been
spellbinding
like,
journey?
do we count this as a farming sim?
Enrollment
Do we
begins
justify
when
this as
Witchbrook
a
flies onto
farming
Nintendo
sim?
Switch this holiday.
All right,
Action, adventure, and arcade games await.
we got ourselves a bit of a
Set off
montage
on
here.
a fantastical mission to eliminate a mysterious deity. In this hand-drawn platforming adventure, you'll explore an expansive archipelago where nightmares and wonders
Archipelago?
Upgrade your
Randomizer?
trusty cane with magical parts. Then use its abilities to
I
find
will
your own
admit,
path
though,
through
I
the
will admit,
enchanting
though,
world. Can
hand-drawn.
you uncover the secrets the
Love
archipelago
it.
holds?
You'll love
Find
to
out
see it.
when the Eternal Life of Goldman launches on
You'll
Nintendo
love to
Switch
see it.
this holiday. Celebrate the 40th anniversary of Gradius with a
Oh.
collection of arcade shoot-'em-up games from across the
Okay.
series. Titles include Gradius, Salamander, Life Force,
Also, I'm realizing, I think I said the
Gradius
40th
2.
anniversary of Pac-Man. It's 45th. My God.
Gradius 3, and Salamander 2. Some titles come with multiple versions, including ones from different regions and launch years. Plus,
That
take the
means
helm
that it's
with brand
basically
new
a
entry,
difficulty select.
Salamander 3. Gradius Origins launches on the Nintendo Switch system August 7th. Pre-orders begin later today on Nintendo eShop. Battle to the beat in Rift of the Necro Dancer. Press the corresponding buttons in each lane to
Okay.
fight monsters in rhythm-based combat. Keep the cadence going with
I
epic
think
boss
this was
battles,
previously
quirky
announced
minigames,
at some
remixed
point.
stages, and global leaderboards. Plus, more musical mayhem awaits in the Celeste Music Pack paid DLC. And be on the lookout for more DLC in the
Pizza
future.
Tower?
Of the Necro Dancer launches on Nintendo Switch later today. Let's see what's in store.
Steam Next Fest.
Welcome to Tamagotchi Plaza, a brand new entry in the Tamagotchi Connection series.
Okay.
There are stores galore. Design glasses.
I'll
at
admit
the
I was
Outdoor
not.
Shop.
I was not paying attention for a split second
Polished
because I was
pearly
trying to
whites
make sure I was
solo
reading chat
or
correctly,
with a
and then
friend
this
at the
shows up, and I'm like,
dentist.
oh.
And arrange plates at the afternoon tea shop. 12 wonderful stores need your help. Provide good customer service to get high ratings and upgrade each shop.
Tamagotchi,
Doing
get a
so,
job
you'll
simulator.
Get to meet more Tamagotchi, making the town livelier than before. With over 100 new and classic Tamagotchi, business
I'll
is
admit-
sure to be booming.
I don't know
Get
that
ready
much
to set up
about
shop when
Tamagotchi at all, but
Plaza
I'll
launches
admit
on
this looks
Nintendo
pretty
Switch,
cute.
June 27th.
Looks pretty cute. I'll give it that. Hey, there we go. Let's see it. There we go.
Welcome to Pokemon Legends ZA, a
Sorry,
new title in the
Pidgey.
Pokemon series.
Someone
You'll
pointed
begin
this
your
out. Now I
adventure
can't
by
unsee it.
choosing one of 3
During
partner Pokemon.
like that shot there, the buildings are flat. I know the game's not finished
that
yet,
also
but
appeared
come
in
on.
the Pokemon X and Pokemon Y games. Lumio City.
What's going on up
To
there?
make it easier for people and Pokemon to coexist.
Wait a minute, did I just
a
see?
company named
Did I just see
Osaka
Pants
Inc.
here?
is carrying out an urban redevelopment plan. Here
We
we'll
got
get a
we
glimpse
got
into
the
lives of
elemental
Pokemon
monkeys.
and people of Lumio City.
They're finally on Switch.
Scattered all over town are wild zones. These areas are special environments where wild Pokemon can live comfortably, even within the city. You can catch Pokemon here,
I'm trying to pay a lot closer attention to like the UI and such.
but they might
It's
be
like-
hostile. If you sense trouble,
You know, we
head
could
to
see a new
safety.
Mega. I'm not sure we'd see a new
There are
Mega today.
Pokemon that live
But, you know, there's
outside
an
wild
opportunity.
zones, too.
All of the buildings are flat. Yeah, I can't unsee it now.
Some of them can even be found
I can't
on
unsee it.
rooftops.
I know the game's not done, but come
People and
on.
Pokemon live easygoing lives
At the
in
same
Lumio
time,
City.
this is Switch 1, and
But
at least, even if
when
the
night
buildings are
falls,
flat, it's still better than what Scarlet and Violet gave
Zebra
us.
transforms.
It should at least run
Highly skilled
smoothly.
trainers are invited to participate in the tournament, the ZA Royale. Trainers await in battle zones.
Okay. Pokemon Battle
If you
Royale,
stop,
I
they'll
suppose.
challenge you to battle. Strike first before being seen, and you'll land a surprise attack. During battles, using a super
Okay.
effective move at the right moment is key. And with Mega Evolution, some Pokemon can power up even more.
Are they gonna show us any new ones? That's
You'll
the real
start at
question.
Rank Z and work your way up to Rank A.
Oh.
Trainers who reach the top.
I think we're gonna
are
be
said to
here a
have
while.
wish granted.
We're gonna be here a while. Wait a minute. Are all of the bosses for the ranks the first letter in there?
Day
We had
and
Zack
night
for
are
Z.
two sides to Lumio City. It
And then we have
seems
some
there are
for,
even
like, for
more
Y right
secrets
after. They're not
waiting
gonna
to
show
be
us the
uncovered.
later ones.
What will you find
There's that guy.
on your adventure?
Yeah, a performance. Yeah.
Pokemon
Yeah,
Legends
they did.
ZA launches on Nintendo Switch later this year.
Okay, no specific release date, but at least
In
it's confirmed.
Lumio
It's,
City, where
it's
the
like
game is set,
late this year, so
Aura
like holiday
transforms
season.
between day and night.
I think
It seems there
the
are even
Japanese
more
Pokemon
secrets to
Presents
uncover.
specifically
Please
mentioned
be on the
fall.
lookout for more information in the future.
So,
Next,
keeping that in mind.
Let's take a look at this.
Hello there. Boop.
What?
The game you're about
No.
to see doesn't have
No,
a
they
big, epic story,
didn't.
but what it does have is
No!
funny little rhythm games.
Oh my God, they
You
did.
wanna see? Boop. Just press the button to jump through the ring.
No. I put on the bingo card out of cope. I wasn't. There's no way.
It sounds easy, but the timing is super
Those sound
tricky.
effects. Is this Rhythm Heaven?
Maybe you could try it in time to a rhythm.
Is this Rhythm Heaven? I was just saying, like, oh, we haven't seen it in a while. We haven't seen the 3DS. We didn't get one yet. And like, I wasn't expecting we'd see it.
Game, you might do almost anything, but you'll need to do it in rhythm.
I put Rhythm Heaven on the bingo board. Wishful thinking.
With practice, you might even be able to play it with your eyes
No.
closed.
They didn't. Oh my God.
Get into the rhythm with a brand new entry in the Rhythm Heaven series, Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Okay. Just gonna put that there. Next year. Okay.
That was
Okay.
Rhythm Heaven Groove.
Okay.
A brand new entry in the Rhythm Heaven series.
Sometimes wishful
Includes
thinking
lots of
can
music
pay off.
produced by renowned Japanese musician Tsunku.
Oh my God.
You're here. We hope you're looking forward to it. Next,
Wow.
we have news about the use of digital games on your system. Please take a look.
Oh my God.
With game cards, you can put a game featuring Mario
Funny
on
how
the
that works
Nintendo
out,
Switch
yeah.
system.
All right,
And
so
the Legend of Zelda
you
game
said
in
there
Disney.
wasn't gonna be Swift
Really
stuff in
inserting
this
games
direct,
you have on
and no,
any-
you lied to
any
me.
system you want. But what if digital games could be as flexible and convenient as game cards?
Let me guess.
Well,
your digital
here's what we
purchases
came
are
up with.
tied to your Nintendo account, so you can just bring them
Introducing
over.
the Virtual Game Card.
The what?
In the future, virtual game cards can be used for digital games.
What? is not just, it's tied to your account,
purchasing
and now
the
you can
digital
download it
version
on
of a
both
game,
consoles.
It will be loaded onto your system as a virtual game card,
What?
allowing you to play that title. Your digital games will be lined up as virtual game cards on a dedicated management screen.
What? What?
Here, you can load and eject your virtual game cards and manage which games you can play on your system.
What the hell? What? What?
If you have two Nintendo Switch systems, you can eject a virtual game card from one and load it onto the second. Now you can play this game on the second system wherever and whenever you want,
Why?
just as if you had inserted a physical game card. With
Huh?
virtual game cards, you can freely load and arrange which games you play on up to two systems. Local communication with your second system is required, but only the first time.
Why though? I feel like there was a much simpler way of.
You can also lend out
Of
virtual
doing
game
this
cards to your
system.
Nintendo account family group members. Connect
So
to
some of
your
this
family group
is
member
tied
system via
to
local wireless when
like
you want
to
to lend a game.
online, to like
Choose the
your
title you're
Nintendo
lending.
account.
And who you're lending it to.
What? I mean, this
And
is
you're done.
nice and all.
They
Not
can
to mention
now
the
play
fact
on
they're
their
actually
own
bringing up
system.
Mii's again, but
You
what?
can only lend one game at a time to a particular person. Games can be lent out for 2 weeks, after which they will automatically return to you. Making digital games even easier
Huh.
to use. Virtual Game Card.
This is weird.
The virtual game card feature lets you swap games between Nintendo
I know
Switch systems
Nintendo does some weird
as well as
stuff.
to Nintendo Switch 2 systems.
Again, I'll bring up the fact that this direct was announced
This
yesterday.
feature is planned to be
While
added
we
to
have
the system update
a
in late
new
April.
like Switch 2 related
Let's
direct
take a
next
look
week.
at more Nintendo Switch games.
What? I'm gonna mute this in case it's copyrighted music again, because I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled that again. Like we've had instances with these montages before. Not personally, but I've heard of other people's experiences being like, yeah, maybe mute this section. I don't think we're gonna be missing anything. Oh look, I believe we have ourselves another farming sim. I should have put it on the damn bingo card. But seriously, what the hell? I feel... Why virtual game cards? I feel like just tie it to the account and you could just download them on other consoles as long as they're signed in as you. Right? I feel like they're overcomplicating things. Okay, we're gonna... I don't understand
An HD
Nintendo
remaster
sometimes.
of Saga Frontier 2 is
I
venturing
don't
off to
understand Nintendo
Switch.
sometimes.
Meet Gustav, the Royal Heir, and Will
I
the
don't
Explorer.
get you.
Two heroes whose fates and legacies will intertwine across generations in this epic RPG.
Well,
Experience the original story, along with brand new events.
I
that
assume the
expand
virtual game
vibrant
cards is
world
going to
of
be carried over to
Songale.
Switch 2, so I guess that kind of solves that, but what
Plus,
in the
team up
world?
with more characters in battle. And transfer stats
I will
to
admit,
allies
it's
through
nice
the
to be able to
Parameter
lend out
Inheritance
digital
system.
games. Like, that's kind of a neat thing.
After finishing the
But
main story, you can test your metal
still-
and might
still
against
kind of a
even
weird
more
concept.
powerful bosses. What
And I'm
histories
surprised.
will
I
you
wanted to
uncover
bet they
through the
did that
ages?
because of the Switch 2. I feel like it was kind of born out of
Saga
necessity, and they
Frontier
wanted to put a
2
Nintendo spin on it. But like,
launches on Nintendo Switch
you-
later today.
you'd think something like that would be kind of, you know,
Monumental adventures await.
you know, earlier on.
Embark on peaceful
Oh,
journeys
well.
across this series of beautiful puzzle games.
Okay, so I've
Wander
heard of
through
Monument Valley.
isometric
I think I
worlds
watched.
filled with stunning landscapes to manipulate. optical
It was
illusions to
years ago.
discover
I don't remember who
and
it was. It was
mystifying
Markiplier or
secrets to
Jacksepticeye. I
unfold.
watched one of them play
In
the
Monument Valley,
first one.
lead the
I
silent
think.
Princess Ida in her quest for forgiveness while outsmarting
I'll
the
admit,
enigmatic crow people.
I do think the game looks cool.
A different journey
puzzle game
awaits
all
in
about
Monument Valley
perspective.
2. Guide Ro in
It's
her
cool.
adventure through motherhood as she and her child unlock the secrets of the sacred geometry. Both games contain all their additional chapters, add-ons, and DLC.
Okay,
The
so
first
in
two
typical
Monument
Nintendo
Valley games
fashion,
launch on Nintendo
even though it's not a
Switch,
Nintendo game
April
per se.
15th.
Like, it's on
Pre-orders
Switch, sure,
begin
but like,
later today on Nintendo
here's a re-release with
And
literally everything in
Help
it.
Noor on her journey to restore the world's light in Monument Valley 3, setting sail on Nintendo Switch this summer.
Okay. Golf. Okay.
A brand new entry in the Everybody's Golf series.
This is not the
arriving
sports
on
game I
Nintendo
wanted.
Switch. Aim.
But
Time your
okay,
button press
sure.
Just right.
A more
And
traditional
take your
golf
shot.
game in comparison to Mario Golf.
Perform
It's
back
fair to
spins,
have the option.
side spins,
I say more traditional, as
Double
as if I
special
didn't
shot.
just see a backspin that looked like it was on fire.
in the single-player challenge mode. Compete in tournaments and face off against a range of rivals to become the ultimate golfer. In Wacky Golf, your shots could get pulled into
Okay,
holes,
okay,
or
look, I said
obstacles
more
might
traditional,
fall.
and then they
It's
immediately
golf
pulled
that's
this.
not quite
Guys!
par for the course. Up to
Are you
4
trying to
golfers
make me
can
look
hit
like
the
a
fairway
fool? Because I
together
could do that
locally
by myself
or in
just
online
fine.
play. So just relax
Oh my
and
god.
get ready to tee off. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots lands on Nintendo Switch this year. Unite some of Marvel's greatest superheroes in the fight against evil. Pair up 2 heroes from the roster of 15, including
Okay.
the likes of the spectacular Spider-Man and the ferocious Wolverine to take on the
Spectacular
challenge.
Spider-Man!
From close quarters combatants to aerial aces, you can mix and match a variety of heroes
Somebody
for
put
an
Spider-Man
amazing
video
array of
game.
possibilities.
Where are they when I'm in a video game?
Swap between your team of 2 at any time. Take advantage of your team's strengths to overwhelm your foes. Plus, up to 4 players can assemble for local or online co-op play.
I'll admit, I don't really play beat 'em
The
ups.
battle for the fate of the Marvel Universe begins when
Can you tell I
Marvel
don't really
Cosmic
play that
Invasion
much in terms of
launches
different
on the Nintendo
genres?
Switch system this
Can
holiday.
you tell?
That was Marvel Cosmic Invasion,
Alright,
where you'll battle
We're probably
as a
about to get
tag
the one
team
more
of
thing.
different superheroes. Next is our last game announcement.
there we go. There's our
Please take
one
a
more
look.
thing. What you got?
I'm a buckle. Tornadoes off on G Plus than yesterday.
What?
Then weekend.
What? Hang on a minute.
How refreshing.
Hang on a minute.
Hiya.
Is this Tomodachi Life? A new one, specifically. Because this ain't the 3DS one. Oh my god.
Like living the dream.
I put this in here on the bingo card because I was not expecting it, but it'd be a little pleasant surprise, you know? Because, like, people have been clamoring for it for years. Oh my god, I didn't taste it. There. Oh my god. And the cereal drink.
Did you want to talk?
Okay.
Aw,
Okay.
glad that was only a dream.
Really? This
was
will probably be a
Tomodachi
Switch
Life,
2
Living
thing, and they'll probably
the
take advantage of, like,
The first new entry
more of the stuff that's on Switch 2,
over
like,
10
I don't know,
years.
like the mouse controls or maybe like a microphone,
In the
like voice
trailer,
chat
we
type
saw
thing,
neat
because that's been
characters
rumored for a
living on
while.
an island
But no,
by
put it on Switch 1!
What
Okay.
kinds of interactions do you think
Okay.
they'll have? We hope you're looking forward to it.
I don't know whether to be happy or just frustrated.
Thank you for watching today's Nintendo Direct so far.
I feel like I feel like I won because I got
Our
rhythm.
final announcement
Come on.
is something a little different that's not a game. Here's Mr. Miyamoto to introduce it.
Oh, are they talking about the Mario movie?
Hello, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto.
Wait,
Thank you for watching today's Nintendo
are they
Direct.
talking about Mario movie too?
Since 2011, Nintendo Direct has delivered Nintendo news directly to you.
Yes.
And now, these presentations have grown into an event that many people watch.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Thank you all very much. We'll continue to broadcast Nintendo Direct presentations, but we're also launching a new channel based on the concept of delivering information to you directly.
Wait, what?
This is a smart device app called Nintendo Today,
What?
which functions like a daily calendar.
Okay.
In the
Is
app,
there
you can
Pikmin
view
4
different
DLC?
Nintendo events. We'll also be delivering all sorts of content about Nintendo games.
Hey,
and
Pikmin
features
4
every
comes. Let's
day.
go. Okay.
After the Nintendo Direct for Nintendo Switch 2 on
The
April
one we
2nd,
actually wanted to see. I'm joking.
news about Nintendo Switch 2 will be delivered to you daily and directly through the Nintendo Today app as well.
Daily?
Nintendo Today will be available to download on smart devices later today.
You know what? There have been a couple of things
Anyone
that
with
I'd
a
say is a
Nintendo
shout
account
drop.
can use the app,
This
so
counts.
please try it out.
This is definitely, I think this
That's
counts.
all I have to share.
It was
I
debatable
hope you
before,
enjoy
now it
using
really
Nintendo
counts.
Today.
Okay. Okay.
That's all for today's Nintendo Direct.
What is this?
Thank you
What
for
is
watching.
Nintendo up to? What? Nintendo? The freaking shenanigans! Put that there. Get rid of this. Nintendo? What? What was this direct? Okay. Let's go over a few things. Let's go over my bingo card. And we'll go over what we see here. No Cloud games, thank God. No Silk Song or Deltarune. So no matter what I would have put in that slot, it wouldn't have mattered. And we continue going down the spiral of we're never getting these games. No Pikmin 4 DLC, but Pikmin 4 was mentioned with a unique animation on the new Nintendo Now app. No DK, no Kid Icarus, no Yoshi. Metroid Prime 4 did not get the release date. And then they bring back Rhythm Heaven. I put this here. The whole reason that Rhythm Heaven's on this board is because, like, I'm not expecting it, but it'd be nice to see again. It's been a bit since Mega Mix, like, sure. But I felt like if it wasn't on Switch now, it probably wouldn't be on Switch at all. Boy, was I wrong! Wishful thinking pays off. No Kirby this direct. Especially not Planet Robobot Remake. Nothing Switch Online unless you count the digital game card thing, which I really don't. No F-Zero, I think that'd be more of Switch 2. No Among Us Yakuza thing, which I'm kind of surprised about because Among Us has shown up in Nintendo Directs before. No Free Space, no Star Fox, no Layton. No Layton. That one's actually kind of weird to me. They teased the game in Nintendo Direct a couple years back. We finally get a new trailer for it with, I believe, gameplay. I have not seen it. Late last year, but I didn't know about it. I'm not sure how many people did. Maybe because it wasn't in a Direct or some major thing. It was some sort of convention. I don't remember. And I was thinking, oh, if it's coming out this year, it's going to be in the Nintendo Direct, obviously. And then it wasn't. And now I'm confused. New IP. I put that there as like a massive wild card. Figured it wouldn't be on there. Pac-Man. I said 40th. It's really 45th. Math is hard. And you know what else is hard? Putting a bingo token on it. Despite the fact that understand what's going on here. Puck, very clearly Pac-Man. Very clearly based on Pac-Man to some extent. I'm not counting it as a Pac-Man thing. I don't know. I don't know if I should, honestly. I'm still debating it. Because, like, Puck is very clearly Pac-Man. They have the sound effects and the eating the pellets and everything. But, like, it was developed by Bandai Namco. So it's made by the same people. But it really isn't Pac-Man. So I'm not sure whether to count it or not. No Wario, to be expected. No Mario Sluggers, should have figured. No Wii U ports to my knowledge, but we did get a DS port. So that's something. Pokemon Legends ZA. No release date. Got a bit more gameplay. We gotta look at like a Battle Royale ranking system type thing, which is kind of neat. No new megas or anything. Still no set in stone release date. Just sometime later this year. And I think the Japanese Pokemon Presents said fall. So that lines up. Dragon Quest started the whole direct. I figured that would be on here. Tomodachi Life. Tomodachi Life came back. I really thought that if this were to come back, it would be next console. I did not think we were getting it on Switch 1. And then Nintendo's like, here you go. Here's Tomodachi Life. You won't shove about it. You guys keep screaming for it at the end of every direct. You're like, Tomodachi Life, Tomodachi Life. There you go. We finally did it. Have fun. Guys. Shadow Drop, I feel like is more of a debatable one. Because some of those may have had earlier announced release dates, or may have been like known of for a while. But I'm definitely counting Shadow Drop as marked off, solely because Nintendo made another app. They made like a news app that is releasing today. So we didn't know about it prior. They're releasing it today. Sounds like a Shadow Drop. So I'm counting it. Meaning that because of the lack of Fire Emblem, which I expected, we lose out on a bingo today. And yet, I think this is the closest I've gotten to getting a bingo. And it's on a row I was not expecting to get anywhere. Like, I expected Dragon Quest. I honestly kind of expected a Shadow Drop because I know how Nintendo works. Legends ZA? Sure. Like, I had a feeling it would show up because Pokemon has shown up in directs before. And then Tomodachi Life happened. And I don't get you. I don't get you. But okay. So, I guess that's it for the directs. Less than 1 week until the Switch 2 Direct. That's going to be a real big one. I have to make a few adjustments to my Switch 2 bingo card because I had Metroid Prime 4 on there. Because I had a feeling they were going to show off Metroid Prime 4. This was not announced until literally yesterday, I don't think. So, I was expecting, okay, they'll bring out Metroid Prime 4 on the Switch 2 announcement to kind of show the difference in power and visual quality and everything from Switch 1 to Switch 2. I feel like Metroid Prime 4 would be a perfect candidate to show that off. And then this shows up, shows off Metroid Prime 4, shows off the new psychic abilities, no release date, and here we are. So I think I'm okay with removing Metroid Prime 4 from my My Switch 2 bingo card. But I do have another thing I think I'm willing to take off the card. Maybe. Here's the thing. If Layton didn't show up here, as much as I think like the new mouse controls could benefit it, I don't think it's going to show up in the second one. I don't think it's going to show in the the Switch 2 Direct. I do, however, want to take this time while I can to show off the bingo card I did make. Image. Create new. Sure. Here we go. And in videos. It's going to be used in a video, technically. Where is it? Switch to bingo. Here we go. This is my bingo card for the next Direct. At least the original version. And before we sign off today, I want to go over it. A lot of the stuff did cross over, I will admit. Well, let's go into this. Brand new IP. Thinking back to Switch 1 presentation, that's when we got ARMS and 1-2 Switch. 1-2 Switch, everyone thought was going to be a one-off, and then the freaking horse head happened. But ARMS was new. I put Kid Icarus, Star Fox, they're on there for the same reason as they were on this. Just like the hope that maybe they'll show up, but they probably won't. DK, similar reason, but I feel like there's more of a reason to put it on Switch 2. As much as I would have loved to see a DK something in this Direct, we just got Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and Nintendo will not stop posting about it online. They seem oddly proud of that port for some reason. New Smash Bros. Because it wouldn't be a Nintendo console without a Smash Bros. On it. I suppose. I feel like they want to announce it early because they want to open the door to the One More Things being character reveals for the next, 3 years. So, I think Smash has a possibility of coming back and then just kind of ruining the last couple minutes of the Direct for me for the next couple of years. I joke, but I've not had a pleasant experience playing Smash Bros. Ever. So, Wario, this time with WarioWare. I didn't put WarioWare on this Direct because we already have 2 for Switch. We had the one early on that was more gimmicky, where you had the character swapping with the different micro games. And then you had one in 2023, I think, which was a bit more standard. It was more like, what was it called? I think it's Show Me Your Moves. I keep confusing it with Wario Land Shake It in my mind for some reason. I don't know why. But it had the same kind of gameplay as Show Me Your Moves. Especially with different stances for the micro games and everything. So it was, I'd say, a more standard one. Because, even the Wii had 2 WarioWares. One that was more gimmicky, one that I guess was more standard. We had Show Your Moves for Wii, which is a more standard one. And then we had DIY, where you could design your own, I believe, on DS and transfer them over. That was the more gimmicky WarioWare of that console. The Wii U kind of followed suit. I don't think there was a proper WarioWare on it, but we got Game & Wario, which is, I guess, part of the same series, and similarly gimmicky. Then we have the Switch, we got our 2 already. So I feel like if WarioWare is going to come back, and they do tend to have, fairly quick turnaround times, I feel like it'd be more on a Switch 2 thing, taking advantage of stuff like mouse controls. Because again, it would be more gimmicky. it would be a more gimmicky thing. Metroid Prime 4 I'm removing from the bingo card. I'm not sure what I'm going to replace it with. I might just go full cope and put F-Zero on here like I did with Kid Icarus and Star Fox, but maybe I'll try spicing it up a little bit because, you know, Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life showed up for Switch today, so I don't know. 3D Mario I think is pretty set. Layton's probably getting removed because I made this accounting for the potential of there only being one direct. I was not accounting for this being a thing, and luckily, outside of Metroid Prime 4 and probably Layton, considering the scope, I won't have to make too many changes. So tune in on Wednesday to see my final version of this bingo card. We have new 3D Mario. We might see something Zelda. I put Breath of the Wild link there specifically because Breath of the Wild was the big Zelda announcement during the Switch 1 presentation. And they use that to like here's like a cross release, like a multi-platform release. We have a Wii U version and a Switch version. The Switch version's better because it has more shit in it. But like, you know, Zelda's a big thing for Nintendo. And I know we just got Echoes of Wisdom last year. And they're not going to be done with a new 3D Zelda anytime soon because we had Tears of the Kingdom in 2023. And we all know how long that took to make. And that was very asset reusing. That very much used a lot of the same assets as Breath of the Wild. So, making a new Zelda from the ground up, probably not open world again for a while. Not as open per se. I know Zelda games tend to be a bit more explorative and open, but like, not that open. We're not gonna get like a Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom style Zelda for a while. I think Nintendo's gonna move on to something more along the lines of like maybe Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask in terms of gameplay, where it's a bit more structured. I put Xbox on here because Nintendo's probably gonna show off like, here's all our third-party developers that are working on this console, because they did that for Switch 1. I don't remember if that was during the initial presentation or if it was like a direct soon after or what. But I put Xbox on here because I think it'd be funny. Not to mention, Xbox Game Studios has released stuff on Switch before. And because Microsoft owns Rare, all the Rare stuff is now lumped in with Xbox Game Studios. So stuff like Banjo-Kazooie goes through them. So there actually is a reasonable chance, a very small chance, but somewhat more reasonable, that an Xbox-related thing would show up. Whether it be a cross-platform release showing off that the Switch can now keep up with fairly modern gen consoles, even if PS4 is technically last gen, but who cares? But it'd be kind of funny to see Xbox and Nintendo Direct. I mean, we've seen them before in Nintendo Direct, and we saw PlayStation publishing in a couple Directs because of LEGO Horizon Adventures. Because that went through PlayStation publishing. So PlayStation has shown up in a Direct, technically. But I feel like Microsoft and Xbox are more likely. It's all depending on whether or not they show which third parties are involved with developing games for Switch 2. Like, if they do, like, the one big, like, screen showing all the different companies involved, and Xbox is on there, that's good enough for me. Random Wii U ports here for the same reason as there was in Switch 1. You never know what Nintendo's up to. And, again, there is a chance we could see something like Star Fox Zero get ported. Odds are probably not, but hey, it's Nintendo. They can be funny. Fire Emblem I put on this card because Fire Emblem was one of the first announcements for the original Switch during that presentation. I can't remember. Was Three Houses the 3DS one, or was that the first Switch one? Because this was years before Engage. Mario Maker's on here. Not because I think they're gonna be done with Mario Maker 2 and then just put a new Mario Maker out there, but I'm trying to think of things that could potentially use some of the new features of the Switch. The most predominant one to me being the mouse controls. So I put Mario Maker in here because being able to make courses with mouse controls would work a lot better than using an analog stick like we've been forced to for Mario Maker 2. That is, unless you're playing portable mode, in which case you can use the touchscreen like the gamepad in the first Mario Maker. But I want to play on the TV, so I'm forced to use the analog stick, and it's awkward. It's awkward, kind of clunky, but slow. Don't like it. It functions, but they could do better. Kirby is on here. Not because of like, oh, the Planet Robobot rumors are still going around. I'm thinking that if we're going to get a new Kirby game, it's going to be a super major thing, it's going to be on Switch 2. Because Forgotten Land is currently the best-selling Kirby game of the series. So I figured it may not necessarily be a new 3D Kirby they would announce there, but that's where the new 3D Kirby would go. Because for how good Forgotten Land was, you could see, like, in the background, to save on power, the game performed better. A lot of stuff in the background moves at lower frame rates, and it's kind of funny, but it looks kind of rough. That would not happen on Switch 2. So we'd be seeing another 3D Kirby game because they're going to keep the formula going, and it's going to be a bigger thing. It's going to look amazing. That's why I wasn't banking on like a new major Kirby on this Direct, and why I went towards the Planet Robobot rumors. Because I feel like a smaller Kirby game on Switch, well, the new Switch gets a big one. Makes sense. And of course, NSO. That would be when they would announce stuff like maybe Mario Paint on NSO using the mouse controls. Or maybe that's when we get the long-awaited GameCube support, because I assume the Switch 2 is going to have more storage space, and the extra power is going to help with that. So, you know, GameCube. I know Switch 1 can run GameCube games just fine. Because 3D All-Stars had Sunshine in it. It was a bit rough at launch because they still had like the debug cubes and everything, but you know, they seem to have gotten all that sorted out. 3D All-Stars was kind of sloppy. It was kind of sloppy. But you know, there's a chance they bring in GameCube with Switch Online on Switch 2 specifically, because storage is a concern, not so much because of power. But I feel like having GameCube on Switch 2 would give people more of a reason to switch over, even if they're not getting new games. And of course, knowing Nintendo, that would be locked behind the expansion pack. It'd be just like N64. And that's the outer ring of game announcements. The free space is Mario Kart 9, which we already know exists from the teaser, so that's our free space. The inner ring is stuff for Switch 2 that I kind of... They're more like, not necessarily, they're more like OS, hardware, price range type things, like non-game material specifically. I'm thinking it's going to cost $400, because the Switch one was $300, and now we're working with something one gen later, roughly the same level as a PS4, bit bigger, new features like, again, mouse support and all that. So it's probably going to cost a little bit more. I say $400. I would not be surprised at $450. I'm going to stick with $400. Upgrade bonuses in games. That's not... Okay. To clarify, that's not performance enhancements. Because we all know Switch 1 games are going to run better on Switch 2. They're going to load faster. And games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are going to have performance increases. Because they're going to run better on better hardware. What I'm meaning is if... a game, let's say it gets released on both Switch 1 and Switch 2, the Switch 2 version becomes the definitive one because there's like an extra thing in it, you know? Maybe an extra level, some like free DLC or something. Something to entice people to upgrade, but not super necessary per se. Save data transfer via Switch Online. That one's pretty much guaranteed because we know that save data is in the cloud for Switch Online users. We've known that since the beginning. But I feel like they're going to put emphasis on the fact that you can carry your saves between Switch 1 and Switch 2 in this regard. I feel they're going to make a key point in mentioning that, because when they made the switch from Wii to Wii U, they had to make a special program to transfer your saves with a Pikmin carrying your save data into a rocket ship, and it was cute. But they don't need to do that if it's all handled by Switch Online. Right? So they're probably going to make a big deal out of it. Voice chat's more of a rumor thing. It might be tied in a bit more, once again, with the Switch Online app, where that is a thing with very specific games. Like, it's a thing for, I believe, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon 2, not 3, I don't think. Maybe 3. And I think it's also there for Smash Bros. But I think they'll either announce like more games for Switch 2 with it integrated, or maybe they'll just do like a voice chat thing across the board. The C button. We've known about the C button because we've seen images of the manufacturing going on. But during the tease for Switch 2, the C button was blank. They wanted to keep it a mystery. We know it exists, but we don't know what it does. So they're going to make a big deal about that. I predict the return of themes. The Switch 1 had 2 themes. Light mode and dark mode. And that's it. It made it seem like they were going to add more. Whether it be like extra color variants like Mario Red, Luigi Green, or something. But they never did. They never did. Which is unfortunate. Switch 2 could be the grand return. I'm going to skip ahead in the ring to the Opera logo here, referencing the potential of a new full internet browser. Because the Switch 1 technically has it, because that's how it would connect to social media to post clips. That's how it runs the eShop. That's how it runs Switch Online. Stuff like getting your like icon stuff. Like that's all web-based. That's all HTML stuff. So keeping that in mind. We could see the full return of an internet browser. Now, I've shared this in a couple of Discords, and I've had people ask me, why the Opera logo? Because the Wii's internet browser was powered by Opera. And I feel like Opera has been trying to appeal more to gamers, quote unquote. So I feel like a partnership could potentially, happen with Nintendo using Opera as a base again. But this is more of a reference to the fact that the Wii used Opera. So they're no stranger to the concept. Finally, the storage. I originally put 64 gigabytes as the base. But then people were like, hang on, it's been 8 years. Games are getting larger because no one knows how to compress anything except for Monolith Soft, who are somehow able to make Xenoblade X take less space with more stuff in it. Explain that one to me. But games take up more space. You're going to need more storage for them. So I was convinced to bump it up to 128 gigs by default. But if it does end up being 64 gigs, just let it be known, I told you so. Let it be known, I told you so. But that's all not right now. That's all going to be next week. Next Wednesday. Now, I want to make this clear. I mentioned this in the community post. I will not be streaming Mario and Luigi Brothership tonight. Today's one of my normal stream days, and I would normally stream it tonight, but I don't like streaming 2 times in a day. That just feels really weird to me. And I feel like having a day dedicated to the new Direct makes a lot of sense. So Mario and Luigi Brothership will return tomorrow for Session 3, and then we jump into the Switch 2 Direct next Wednesday. Right? So if you want more Mario and Luigi, stay tuned for tomorrow. But as for today, that's going to be it. I'm gonna go talk about Rhythm Heaven in in Wanye's Discord, and I'm just gonna go. I that's enough for me. Seriously though, you're joking, right? Rhythm Heaven was me having wishful thinking. Wishful thinking that apparently worked out. Tomodachi Life was put on there because people are like, Tomodachi Life for Switch. They've been doing it for years. Fine, I'll put it on there. I'm not expecting it. It was the one more thing. It was the one more thing that wasn't really the one more thing because we got Nintendo Now. We got the new news app. But in terms of game releases, Tomodachi Life was the one more thing. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Mario and Luigi Brothership. And next week for a second Nintendo Direct. Why are we getting two of these so close together? Nintendo never does this. Like, aren't they at least a little bit concerned? Aren't they just a little bit concerned because this Direct is so close to the Switch 2 Direct that this is going to be pretty much overshadowed entirely? Aren't they worried about that? That's why I'm thinking that maybe they would do it in February. And yeah, if they did do, like, what I was thinking, like, they would put the Switch 2 teaser at the end of a February Direct, the Switch 2 would have probably overshadowed everything, like Tomodachi Life, like Rhythm Heaven, like the various RPGs, like Pokemon Legends DA. I get it. But isn't the same thing technically happening because they gave us a Direct for Switch less than a week before the Switch 2 Direct that will inevitably overshadow this entirely? Don't you understand the conundrum here? Don't you get it? Oh well. We can enjoy the excitement for the Switch 1 releases while we can before the Switch 2 absolutely blows everything out of the water. I will not stop thinking about this. Well, once again, my expectations have been completely demolished. Because stuff I did expect kind of showed up, but not really. Like Metroid Prime 4, I was expecting a release date, and we didn't get that. And then I wasn't expecting to get Tomodachi Life or Rhythm Heaven, and they both showed up! They both showed up! I just cannot accurately pinpoint how these directs frickin' work. I swear to God. Whatever. That's gonna be it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow for more Mario and Luigi. No more stalling from me. I gotta go. This has been something. This has been something. Oh my God. See you guys tomorrow.